Welcome back to this class. This is Module 6, where we'll be talking about basic electricity or basic electrical wiring connection and data communication. So you can have a deep knowledge of this area because it's very key when it comes to home automation because you have to power all your devices and they have to be connected to the wireless network or wired network. So you have to have like a full understanding of how the network works and how to configure your router to ensure they all communicate. Okay, so we explore, electricity, how the cable connects to, uh, to the central DB and other devices and breakers in the house. Okay, all right. So we'll talk about the home electrical wiring system, which is a network that distributes electrical powers throughout a building. you know, it powers the lighting, the appliances, the other appliances in the house, other devices. It also consists of several main components, which is number one, we'll talk about the DB, which is the distribution board, where the power are terminated. When you bring power from the grid, from the main grid, they get to some will use changeover in Africa, where you can change from different source of energy, either generator or so. But normally, there's also be the power grid from the power cable from the grid straight to your DB. Then from your DB, you now distribute to all your sockets and your switches in the house, in the home. All right. Then inside the DB, we have the circuit breaker. The circuit breaker basically protects, and protect the equipment from overload and short circuits. You automatically shut off, power when there is a fault. For instance, there is a high current. The circuit breaker will shut off the power, so the power will not affect your your devices. So basically, this main board, it has series of circuit breaker and this power switch. It basically control each segment, each circuit in a home. Let's assume you have a four-bedroom flat. An instance, all the sockets in one of the rooms can come to the DB. It will come to the DB. On the DB, it comes to the breaker. So you can put all the lighting points in a room to another breaker, all the wall sockets to a breaker. So you can actually control, you can automate at the DB level, which is you get a smart circuit breaker. So when there's a bad current, the circuit breaker, automatically switch, off the entire power on that area. Or you can remotely from anywhere in the world use your phone to shut down the circuit breaker. The circuit breaker, or for instance, for energy management, you can use your circuit breaker. You can, use it to control the amount of energy a particular room consume by shutting it down when they are not around. For instance, if they forgot to shut it off when they're traveling or leaving the homes, you can use your phone or your Tuya application or your Alexa app from anywhere in the world to shut it down, provided that you have a smart circuit breaker. When we get to the practical session, we're going to show you the circuit breaker, which is very smart, that can link to your wireless network for remote access and control. Then number three, we have the branch circuit. These are the wire that connect, that carry power from the main DB to different rooms or appliances. You have to run wire from the DB to all the socket to the appliances. That's what we call the branch circuit. Then we have the switch and socket, the smart switches and sockets. So they basically all work together as the system. All right. So these switches are, placed positioned strategically in the homes to secure, to be sure that that power points for the TV, for the AC, for the electrical appliances like fan, in the home. So they are wired to the DB. So you can either control at the switch level or device level or at the DB level. All right. So the next one is the heading. So heading is very important. It's a safety mechanism that directly, that directs stray electricity into the earth. So when thunder strike, a very huge kilowatt, or megawatt of electricity is coming from the sky. So when it attacked, get to the house, the earthing mechanism, it takes the electricity straight into the ground. Into the ground, the earth can absorb any huge amount of electricity and just disperse it inside the ground. So that's the work of the earth. So it's very important when you're setting up, your home. You can advise your client to plan for earthing, because this thunder strike can destroy literally everything in the homes. So with the earthing mechanism in place, you can save your products, your devices and your appliances in the homes in case of thunder or strikes, right? So let's go back to this other one, which is types of wires and cable used in home wiring. We have different type of wire that can be used. You can use a single core wire, which is red and black, 1.5 mm, 1 mm. So standard. If you are doing electrical wiring for a home, for lighting points, you can use original cable 1 mm will serve for lighting points. Then for let's say AC you know and maybe water heater, you can use some use to 1.5 original quality cable, 1.5 or 2 mm uh, uh, core, single core cable. They just run it red and black, so that will work. All right. So we have the flexible cable. That's another type of cable. All right. So you can use to plug appliances like AC, water heater and all. Then we have the armored cable. The armored cable that's steel wire armored for mechanical protection. They are protected. They are ideal for outdoor settings, outdoor application. Okay, let's look at the diagram of how the house is being wired uh, from the grid. Okay, so from the transformer to the DB, from the DB to the socket, and from the sockets to your appliances. The cable from here is they are high tension cables. They are not just normal cable. That's from the transformer to your DB. They are not the regular red and black cable. They are high tension cable. So pardon that diagram. Okay. All right, so let's look at the drawing again. These are everything connects and powers the appliances in the house. It's very straightforward, and you have to, watch the kind of cable that was used in your homes and ensure that quality cable, because they can actually get hot, and before you know, you can have a fire outbreak in the house. So this is the end of this particular class. I will see you in the next topic, in the next class. When we get to the practical session, we're going to be showing you practically how all these things connect, so you can have an idea of what we're talking about. See you in the next class.